Hi, in this video we're going to look at something called nested if statements, and what that lets us do is we put one if statement within another if statement, and the advantage of doing that is we could create a new categorical variable with one level or two levels or three levels, and it can be a little bit overwhelming, so I'm going to step you through how this works. Now in this example we're going to create a three-level variable for the log of the somatic cell count. So just my normal naming convention is to add that end any variable like that with cat standing for categorical and 03 so I know how many levels it has. You can use whatever naming conventions you want. I just recommend that you start to get in some habits because it'll make it easier to determine what it is you are doing with your data sets. So in order to create this new variable, the first thing I need to do is know what the 25th and 75th percentiles are for the log of the somatic cell count. The way I do that is with a function called the percentile function. A reminder that if you don't know what a function is, and you aren't even sure perhaps even if there is a function, you can go up here on the formula tab to the insert function and get some help. I do know the function, so I'm going to say equals percentile, and the first thing I need to do is select the array that I'm going to want the 25th percentile for. And remember, I tend to click just the entire column in a data set like this because if I add variables to the bottom of it, what it's going to do is it's going to ensure that all of my stuff is automatically updatable into the future. Now I have to say what value it is I want, and I could write 0.25 for the 25th percentile. Just a reminder that when we're talking percentiles in Excel, we have to give them as a number between 0 and 1, so it has to be 0.25, not 25, and that will return the correct number. However, I'm going to do it a little bit differently, and I'm instead going to use a cell reference, and I'm going to reference this cell. And the reason for that is if I wanted to at a later date perhaps change the cut point from the 25th percentile to another percentile, I can do that really easily. So if I say I wanted low instead to be the 10th percentile, I can update that, no trouble. The other advantage of doing the formula like that is I can just copy and paste and it will work because it's going to give me everything in this column, and this time it's going to ask for the 75th percentile, so it works really well and it just makes life a little bit quicker. So things are going to get a bit interesting here. I'm just going to need a little bit more space to put this in so that you can see it. You don't need to move that when you're doing it yourself. This is simply so I can show things without it moving across. So I'm going to start with an if function, and I'm first going to code the low. So I'm going to say if this is less than or equal to the 25th percentile, then give me low, comma, because I'm now going to add another argument. Now because I'm going to have three levels, I need to add another if. So I say if, and in this case I'm going to say if it's between the 25th and the 75th, return me normal. So in order to do that, I'm going to go and use a logic function this time. So I'm going to be combining the nested if with the and statement. So I'm saying if and. So now if this is greater than the 25th percentile and, so the comma, and less than or equal to the 75th percentile, and that's all the conditions. So I am now closing the bracket. So you can see we're getting some quite complicated coding here in that we've got lots of brackets. I want you to give me normal. Otherwise, give me high. Okay, so Excel's kind of giving us some pointers here. It's giving me a red bracket down here, and so I'm pretty sure I haven't got all of them yet, because now I do, because this color matches the color here.
But I do want to make one more change, and that is when I copy and paste this, I want to make sure it's always going to refer to the 25th and 75th percentile cells, and it's not going to be relative. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to press the F4 key, or you could manually type the dollars. And now I know that it's always going to reference the right cells. So now I can paste that down and it looks like it's working as I would expect, and I often do just a quick check of that logic.